So we're here with Amit Peled for the first time at Iris. The Elgar is a pretty special piece, don't you think?
Yeah, the Elgar was the second reason why I became a cellist. The first reason was a girl that I was in love with in Israel when I was 10 years old, and I wanted to get close to her, so I started the cello. And the second reason was Jacqueline Dupre, another girl.
Right.
And just her playing and with that piece just made me want to really play this piece. And I remember the first time I played it with orchestra, that moment before the main theme comes and this famous scale, I got so excited that I couldn't play. Just I dreamed about that moment when it starts, that theme, and when it came I just freaked out. I grew up and visiting England and of course reading about the First World War and about Elgar, it became clearer to me the sadness of this piece and the horrible things that happened in that war, how he could translate to the piece. And it was actually in Israel playing it for two people. One of them you know well, for both of them. One is Zuckerman. I played it for him as a young teenager, and he talked to me about this was not connected to the war so much, it was connected to English countryside. And that theme. So he had a big cigar in his mouth, and I was, of course, shaking just to play for him. And he says, "Have you ever been in England?" I said, "No, I've never been on a plane even." He said, "Well, when you go to England, go to the countryside, and when you see that vast land, the green land and the beauty of it, just imagine you're riding a bicycle, and you cannot ride too slow because you'll fall. So there has to be some kind of motion to it, but you're just looking around you and you see this beauty." And that was the first time I treated that theme not with the passion that Jacqueline Dupre approach, but with more the nature of England. And then it was Your Father, whom I played it for him in Boston, and he killed me. He killed me musically. I remember something I always use in my lesson, and by the way, a lot of your comments are just similar, same, which maybe you don't like to hear, but it's really true. But I remember the first comment he gave me was in the beginning, one, you get to the tip of the boat, one, and then I made huge accent, one, tee-da, to go back to the frog. And then he asked me, "Why do you do that?" You know? I think the best lessons I had in my life musically were not with cellists. One of them was Your Father, my good friend Alon Goldstein. You know, whenever we play together, we kill each other. But he asked me questions that cellists would never ask, and I asked him questions about piano that his piano teacher would never ask. And then we come to realization that I think musically are right.
And I think also it's important to say, because you have a lot of experience playing chamber music, I think that's an incredibly important part of anybody's musical experience. So actually, if you're either in front of an orchestra or in the orchestra, if you're in front of the orchestra as a soloist, if you're playing in recital, it's all the same. It's all chamber music. And so you have to communicate on the breath like that, otherwise it doesn't happen.
You have to communicate with the public always. But then, you know, the partners could be conductor and concertmeister and flute.
Right.
Or a piano trio. I mean, it's the same composer, the same music, and I think it's very important to identify it for students early on. That, you know, the people I adore as players when I look at the recordings, they recorded all the sonatas and trios, and some of them quartets even, and concertos.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with Iris for the first time. It's great, and let's have fun with the Elgar.